Imagine a country where ancient traditions and strange customs govern every aspect of daily life. A place where cutting children's hair is a strictly forbidden practice, where celebrating Valentine's Day is considered an affront to cultural traditions, and where nomadic life prevails as if time had stopped centuries ago. Today we will talk about Mongolia, a land of fascinating contrasts, where the old and the new coexist in surprising ways. Get ready to discover secret facts and revelations that will shake your perceptions of this incredible country. Mongolia, located between the vast China and Russia, is a country of untouched beauty, with borders extending across endless plains and majestic mountains. Mongolia is one of the least densely populated countries in the world. With a population of just 3,300,000 people, its geographic density is only 2 people per square kilometer. This impressive statistic is even more surprising when compared to other Asian nations, where overcrowding is common. While in countries like China and India, cities are so densely populated that it is difficult to move through the crowds, in Mongolia, the space seems almost infinite, providing a rare sense of freedom in our modern world. A curious fact about Mongolia is that in this vast territory there are many more animals than people. To give you an idea, there are 13 times more horses than humans, and sheep outnumber the human population by a ratio of 35:1. This remarkable imbalance reflects the deep cultural connection to the nomadic lifestyle and the importance of animals in the daily subsistence of the Mongols. Horses, in particular, are considered essential companions, almost an extension of the family itself, and play a vital role in the survival of the nomads in such a harsh environment. About 1/4 of the Mongolian population still lives as nomads, moving across the vast landscapes in search of grazing land for their livestock. The nomads live in structures called gurs, also known as yurts, which are circular tents made of wood covered with felt and canvas. These homes are incredibly ingenious, easy to assemble and disassemble. They allow families to move as the seasons change and look for suitable pastures. Nomadic life is a true dance with nature, where every move is planned to ensure the survival of the animals that are so essential to the family's sustenance. During winter, temperatures can drop to a brutal 40 degrees below 0 Celsius, and the jurs provide vital protection from the intense cold. However, the nomads face an even greater challenge: the dzud, an exceptionally harsh winter that can wipe out entire herds, leading to economic and humanitarian crises. The dependence on livestock for survival makes the dzud a constant threat to the nomads' existence. The structure of the gurs, heated by wood stoves that also serve for cooking, is an example of the ingenuity and resilience of this people in the face of adversity. Inside these tents, everything has a specific place, optimized for comfort and functionality. A ger can be assembled in less than 3 hours and disassembled in just 1 hour, transforming into packages that can be easily transported. Despite the harsh conditions, many Mongols continue to live this way, not only due to tradition, but because of a profound spiritual and cultural connection to the land. It is impossible to talk about Mongolia without mentioning its glorious past as the heart of the Mongol Empire, the largest contiguous empire in history, which, in the 13th century, under the leadership of the formidable Genghis Khan, dominated almost the entire known world. Stretching from Europe to Asia, the Mongol Empire was an unstoppable force, bringing new eras of power and influence. Genghis Khan was not only a conqueror, but also a visionary who implemented innovative communication systems and governance practices, leaving a lasting legacy. However, after Genghis Khan's death in 1227, the empire faced growing challenges. Without his leadership, the successors struggled to maintain the cohesion and vastness of the Mongol domain. In the 17th century, the empire fell to the Qing dynasty of China, and Mongolia underwent a long period of foreign domination that lasted until the early 20th century. It was only in 1924 that Mongolia became a communist republic, aligning itself with the Soviet Union, and this new regime lasted until 1990, when the fall of communism paved the way for economic and political reforms. The legacy of Genghis Khan is not limited to military and political history. Genetic studies have revealed that approximately 17 million people today are direct descendants of the Great Khan, a testament to the vast impact he had not only in Mongolia, but across Central Asia. The presence of so many living descendants is undeniable proof of the magnitude of his influence and the control he exercised over such a vast portion of the world. Among some nomadic communities, extramarital relationships are seen in a more liberal light than in many other cultures. During the extensive travels across the steppes, both men and women sometimes maintain relationships outside of marriage. This practice is considered natural within certain cultural contexts, where the nomadic life requires great flexibility and adaptation, not only physically but also in human relationships. The social dynamics on the steppes, marked by long separations from spouses due to the search for pastures or business activities, create more relaxed norms regarding marital fidelity. Rather than being seen as an act of betrayal, these extramarital relationships are viewed as a practical necessity to alleviate the loneliness of solitary journeys. In certain communities, it is allowed for women to have multiple sexual partners, which is seen as a practical strategy to ensure that their families have access to more resources and economic support, a crucial safety net in such a harsh environment. In Mongolia, marriages are more than a simple union between two people. They represent a strategic agreement with profound economic implications. Arranged marriages are a common practice, reflecting a tradition intertwined with the need for financial and social stability. Families carefully negotiate the terms of the marriage, where the dowry plays a crucial role. The dowry, which may include money, livestock, or other valuable goods, is not just a symbolic exchange, but an investment in the future, ensuring economic security for the newlyweds. In addition to arranged marriages, Mongolia also maintains the tradition of bride kidnapping, where men kidnap a woman they wish to marry. Although this practice may seem like forced abduction, it often occurs with the prearranged consent of the woman and her family. This ritual, despite being controversial, served as an alternative to traditional arranged marriages in situations where families could not reach an agreement or where young people wished to marry against their parents' wishes. Now let's set aside nomadism and talk about the capital of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, a city where rapid growth has brought not only development but also critical challenges. With 45% of the country's population living in this metropolis, Ulaanbaatar faces serious air pollution problems, especially during winter, when the air becomes nearly unbreathable due to the burning of coal and other fuels to heat homes. This smoke creates a dense, toxic fog that causes severe public health issues. Rapid urbanization has brought many inhabitants from rural areas to the capital, overburdening urban services and infrastructure. Many families live in settlements known as Gir districts, where traditional Mongolian tents coexist with makeshift housing. The lack of access to modern heating systems forces residents to rely on polluting methods, exacerbating the air pollution problem. The health consequences are severe, with respiratory diseases like asthma and bronchitis being common, and prolonged exposure to pollutants raising the risks of heart disease and cancer. One of the most shocking and fascinating customs in Mongolia is the sky burial, a funeral rite where the body of the deceased is left outdoors to be devoured by wild animals, mainly vultures. This ritual is performed in remote areas where the hard, frozen ground makes traditional burial impossible. The practice reflects the belief that the body should return to nature, contributing to the cycle of life. This rite also carries a spiritual connotation, where vultures are seen as messengers helping the soul ascend to the sky. Although it is an ancient tradition, the sky burial is becoming less common as urbanization and external influences bring about cultural changes. However, in rural areas and among certain communities, this practice persists as a way to honor the dead and maintain a connection with ancestral traditions. Another peculiar custom is the prohibition of cutting children's hair until they reach a certain age, usually between 2 to 5 years old. This rite of passage marks the transition from childhood to youth and is celebrated with a special ceremony. During this ceremony, relatives and friends cut locks of the child's hair, symbolizing purification and renewal of life. The hair is then kept as a memento or offered to the gods in a gesture believed to bring good luck and prosperity. This custom reflects the deep reverence that Mongols have for life and spirituality. The act of cutting hair is imbued with meaning, representing the first step of a spiritual journey that will continue throughout the child's life. It is also an opportunity for the community to gather and celebrate, reinforcing social and cultural bonds. In Mongolia, superstitions and taboos govern many aspects of daily life. For example, it is believed that whistling indoors brings bad luck because it summons evil spirits. Another taboo is the prohibition of pointing at people or objects with the finger, as it is considered disrespectful and can bring misfortune. Instead, Mongols use an open palm to point to something or someone, a gesture that reflects respect and courtesy. These superstitions are not mere customs, but are deeply rooted in Mongolian spirituality, which is a blend of shamanism and Buddhism. Shamanism, one of the oldest religions in human history, is still practiced in certain parts of Mongolia, where shamans are seen as mediators between the spiritual and physical worlds. They perform rituals to heal diseases, protect livestock, and ensure good harvests, keeping alive a tradition that dates back thousands of years. Finally, we cannot talk about Mongolia without mentioning Nadam, the national festival held every year in July. Known as the Three Manly Games, Nadam is a celebration of wrestling, horse racing, and archery. These traditional sports are a showcase of physical strength and mental agility, and they are deeply symbolic, reflecting the skills needed for life on the steppes. Wrestling is perhaps the most prestigious of the sports, where wrestlers, dressed in traditional attire, compete until one is thrown to the ground. Horse races, which can extend for more than 20 kilometers, have no age limit for competitors, and even young children ride horses, demonstrating the dexterity and courage of young Mongols. Archery, in turn, is a reminder of the skills that made Mongols famous as invincible warriors under the command of Genghis Khan. Nadam is not just a sports competition, but a celebration of Mongolian national identity, bringing together the past and present in a burst of color, music, and joy. It is an occasion where everyone, from the nomads of the steppes to urban dwellers, gathers to celebrate Mongolia's rich and diverse heritage. Please share your thoughts on the secret side of Mongolia in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video appearing on your screen now. I'm sure you'll enjoy the content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.